Today we're going to be talking about the Previ Color Gram and the different ways you can kind of troubleshoot what's wrong with your stainer. So if you look here, this is just the basic screen that you get at the beginning. Before you run any run, if it's been a week between classes or whatnot, you're going to need to make sure to test that each of the nozzles for each of the staining steps is still working. So if we do that, we can go to tests, and then it has all these different options. So the one thing that we would want to run is the pattern test, which is number 1. So let's open it up and pull out our carousel. All right. I did a pattern test with this, and the problem that ends up happening is that you won't get any spray out of whichever one is clogged. And the two ones that end up clogging the most are the primary and secondary stain. So the crystal violet here and the gram saffronin. And those are on the A and the C demarcations. Notice that they also have the color there so you can remember. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to perform the pattern test. So you can do this a couple of different ways in regard to what you use to test it. I'm going to use a paper towel. You can also use a blank sheet of paper, that works too. So I've tried my best to make it so that you can see what I'm going to do. I have a paper towel here, and what I'm going to end up doing is just putting the paper towel in front of the actual nozzles, and then I'm going to press the corresponding button to the part of the staining procedure over here. But you want to keep holding it to make sure that the paper towel or the paper that you're testing is going to stay in the same spot. So if you can prop it up like this, that's great, but it's going to spray, so it might knock it over. So right now, I'm going to do the pattern test. So that's number 1. Okay, and now it tells me that I can press any button to prime these two spots, or sorry, these staining components. Okay, so if I want to test that my secondary stain is working, I'm going to press the A. All right, so I press the A, and so then it squirts out. I have a beautiful circle. So a beautiful circle means that it's perfectly spraying out. Let's test the primary stain real quick. All right, you saw it move, so that means something did come out. That's perfectly circular. Excellent. All right, let's do the B. This is the mordant, which is the iodine, sorry. That looks great too. All right, and the distilled water, if you look, it's actually on this side, so that's kind of funky. You wouldn't expect it to be there. So, all right, so I saw the tubing move. There are no bubbles in the lines. That's something you also want to look for as well in all of these, is if there are bubbles, that shows that something's wrong. And notice that both areas where there is water that comes out, see the first and the last one over there, they are perfectly circular as well. And now let's test the ethanol. Okay, so the E is for ethanol, and it comes out over here. All right, so let's test that. All right, I heard it, and that's a pretty bad test because we just had the water, so you can't really tell. Hold on a second. Let me get another paper towel. All right, we're going to try that again. Okay, ethanol. All right, and we know it's going to be over here. So let's look where my thumb is. Perfect. All right, so all of that proves that we don't have any nozzles that are blocked in any way because of deposition and dried up pieces of the actual liquid stain. So then what's going to happen is it's going to ask you to press the prime button because it wants to make sure that all of the lines are filled and you don't have any bubbles. So we will, oh, sorry. We just did that. I'm sorry about that. Once you're done with that, it's going to ask you to clean it. So we're going to press stop, and in order to continue on, you should clean it. Okay. So in the cleaning cycle, you're going to need to put the carousel in there. The reason that I know to clean it after is because that's what it says in your operator's manual. If you choose not to clean it after, that's up to your facility. So the clean is going to make sure that everything is working inside. It's all nice and clean. You've already primed everything to test it. The best thing to do afterwards is then clean the actual carousel and everything that goes along in there. So this is the cycle. It's going rather quickly. I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so we're at the end. It's done. It says cycle is complete. All right, now press the clean to reprime. You can't get around that one. So now it's priming all of these. Okay. And that does run through your stain rather quickly. So be aware of that. You're going to end up having less in the bottles after you're done. And that's normal. Okay, now that's done and says cycle complete. And now you can run whatever it is that you need to run for class, but you need to make sure that you run this first before you do any gram staining, because you don't want to have to redo your smear all over again and put it on the heat block and everything to fix the specimen there. So make sure that this is in working order first before you ever try to run anything, or else it's going to set you back steps. It's not a quick, easy fix. You always have to make sure that you take care of your instruments first so that they'll take care of you. All right. Thank you for watching.